Coming up this week, I have a little patio refresh and makeover, a new plot of land to show you. The bees have finally arrived. I have a personal update, behind the scenes of the flower show and the television all in the 1 week. Let's get into it. I've had an escapee. Mr. Bond, that sounds like Mr. Bond. Bond is just joining me. Because there are birds nesting in the trees. He has not been out. He does get a little 20-minute potter, a supervised one, because they try and scale the tree. But as I was bringing rubbish out of the house, he has joined me, so I'll let him have his few minutes before he starts to chase the birdies. You going back in? So it has not been patio season here in Ireland. So we are all very late in cleaning up our seating areas just from chatting to my friends. Because there's only been 1 or 2 days here and there to kind of tidy out the garden, we're all kind of feeling behind in my friend group at the moment. It's actually even raining as I am tidying up my patio corner. But I wanted to get it done because bank holiday weekend was approaching for us here in Ireland. And I wanted it to look nice, and I just wanted to sit outside in the evening. The weather has been quite changeable, lots of showers, but there has been some glimmers of sunshine, and when they come, I appreciate them. They are beautiful. I take them as they come. This area generally becomes a dumping ground in the winter for 2 reasons. It's right at the kitchen door, and I'd be trying not to walk on the grass to avoid walking to the greenhouse to put things in there during winter. I kind of just dump them at this stone seating area. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So it was time to give it a bit of a clean. You might also notice that I painted the chairs. So I had some leftover paint in my stash, and I wanted to, they wear like a bluey colour, you might remember from last year. But I wanted to make them blend into the garden a bit more, so I went for like a muted kind of green colour on them. Here's a little peep of how it's looking now. We do have to come back to this because I do need to scrub my little parasol thingamajiggy. So we will revisit this area again. Okay, I just got a phone call to come, look at the dirt in my runners, to come and collect my nuke of bees. And Miss Buggy is marking her scent. I'm just going to bring my bee stuff. I have this strap to go on the nook. And yeah, let's go collect my bees. It was time to suit up and head on over to collect my bees. And yes, I did have to drive a beehive home in my car. And for someone who gets the anxiety, I was actually surprisingly calm. I bought my bees from a breeder through the beekeeping association that I'm with. So here is the nook in its new spot. It's all lovely, overgrown and wild here for them. It's also got really nice hedging, high hedging as well. And so it means the bees will fly up and over. So I'm going to take the guard off. I'm just going to put my bee suit on. Well, it's on. I just need to zip it up. Take the guard off and let them get comfortable in their new home. So the bees are lovely and docile, is that the word? Calm. They were really calm when I went to the apiary as well. because they are the Apis mellifera, the Irish black bee. And if they're crossbred with the Italian bee, they can get a bit spicy and aggressive. I did come across an aggressive hive when I was in the apiary, and they explained what caused that. It was good to see the difference between a calm, docile hive and an aggressive one. I could see the difference straight away. Basically, if that happens, you have to get a new queen. Keep them Apis mellifera and not the Italian bee. The Italian bee, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just when they crossbreed, they can get a bit aggressive. I don't know why. So I am going to leave them for now. I need to come back in a couple of hours with some feed for them. The guy just said to give them some sugar syrup, just because they're in a new location. It's going to take them a little bit to find where to forage. Oh, wind. It's also been raining today, and the weather hasn't been great this week, even though it's sunny now. But there is to be good weather the weekend, so I'm going to transfer them into their actual hive, which you can see here, and I have to give the nook box back. So I need to order some more brood frames for that hive, because I've only 10 and I need 12. And then I will film me putting the frames from the nook into the hive, and then that should be the hive set up then hopefully before long. They're laying loads of eggs. I saw the queen, she's marked red. She will build up the numbers, and then yeah, hopefully before long I'll be putting a super box on, and I might get some honey this year, but I don't mind if I don't. I'm all about, I don't know, I'm just learning about them and yeah, doing my bit to try and be a beekeeper, but very much a beginner. Okay, I'm after hitting the jackpot. So it's the Wednesday, the night before Bloom. I'm actually here setting up for my Ireland AM segment on Friday, but they're waiting on the furniture and stuff to come. So I am now in with the show gardens. There's hardly anybody here. This is like Christmas for me. So I'm going to give you a little look around while there's nobody here. I feel like, I don't know, I'm breaking the rules by being here. But let's have a look at these beautiful show gardens in peace. I can get right up next to them. If this was like show day, like a Thursday, Friday, I wouldn't be able to get this close. I wouldn't even be able to get into the garden. So before I get kicked out of the garden, let's go and have a little look and see what the show gardens are like this year.
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
I am just after spotting, sorry for my wobbly footage, this, it looks like an upside down wheelbarrow. How cute is that? I'm loving, this looks like something that could be just built under, like, they're like tunnels. I'm not sure what this is. Okay, I can get close. There looks to be a living wall planting system here. How beautiful is that? This reminds me of my local park where they have little mounds like this, and then there's tunnels where kids can run through, but I love the idea of planting it up. Okay, I have just realised this is the Despicable Me 4 show garden, so that absolutely explains, I get it now, these are eyes, and then the yellow as well. Okay, my niece and nephew would get this straight away. I feel so old for not knowing. Okay, I'm going to be bold. And I'm going to just open this. If I get kicked out, I get kicked out, but I will try.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clear light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face.
How beautiful is the planting in this garden? So this is garden number 19, Children's Health Foundation Garden of Music and Play. Straight away, the planting. This is what I was saying about, I was saying on the Chelsea vlog about not as much formal planting. There wasn't a lot of roses. And I love how there is roses, a couple of ranunculus mixed in, but it also has that wild look, but there's still an element of, I don't know, formal elegance. It looks nice, but it still has that wild effect.
That ever was is a rise. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to.
Fancy meeting you here with your trolley as well. Are you pulling plants?
With my granny trolley?
Your granny
I
trolley.
just have pulled plants, yeah.
Okay, say hi to YouTube.
Hey everybody.
I actually, okay, I have to go out to the orchard to pull the plants for this segment, which means I have to leave Bloom. I was just chatting with Niall there for a good 20 minutes, having a catch up. I'll give you a quick look at these postcard gardens and then I have to go. I'm devastated, but I'll be back on Friday morning. The television slot is 7:45, which gives me a good hour to get around and get more footage. But people will be here and I was enjoying having Bloom all to myself. But I have to go. I have to be at the orchard before 6 because they'll close. But anyway, let's have a look at these and we'll go. How sweet is this little postcard garden? It's Sacred Heart Junior School, Killinarden in Tala, and it's called the Nurture Room. And I just think this is the sweetest. And all of the little hand-drawn pictures. It is so cute.
Full stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight. Forgo, give up everything that I own. Yeah, I'd give it all up now just to be with you somehow. Unexpected love was found. You're the rose in a garden, and it shows if I'm honest.
Now, I've just noticed another St. Bridget's cross and an ode to St. Bridget. This is the third one I have seen. This is Magic of the Kingdom that lies beneath and above through the power of Bridget. Postcard garden number 12. I'm not even going to try and pronounce We Main Kingdom Ballinasloe. I think I did an alright job at that. And how pretty is this garden? And I noticed a nod to nature, and there's a garden further down where there's like a bog garden, and this is giving the same kind of vibe. Okay, this one I absolutely love because this is from the Samaritans, and I love how it's let's talk about the elephant in the room slash garden room. And this is for the Samaritans. They did have a phone box garden a couple of years ago, so I think this is a really good, it's just a really impactful, it makes you stop.
And I've come out here to say that I love you. Ooh, ooh, you. Ooh, ooh. So slow, hold you in my arms, won't let
I'm just leaving, but you can still see there's so much setting up going on. It is now 4:15. I really need to get my skates on and get out of here, but that is the craft village down there. Everybody is just helping set up. Here's more of the craft village. I think it's like stonework, is it? Stonemason work? Blacksmith. So yeah, it is absolute chaos, and it's only a couple of hours until showtime, and everything magically is cleaned up and just ready to go. Okay, some really nice lads just made me a cup of tea as I was coming out, the security lads, because it's like people are setting up today, so there's no like coffee stands and stuff. And I said to them, where did you get that tea? And they said, oh, we made it inside, do you want one? And I was like, I actually do. I'm such a chancer. I'm so late now, but as I was coming out, I was chatting to a lady called Margaret. She works for the OPW, and she was saying that you can do a tour of the Áras an Uachtaráin, which is the president's house. It happens on a Saturday, and she gave me her number. Now, I won't be able to do it this Saturday, but we are 100% going to Áras an Uachtaráin. I will message Margaret, and we will go. And I asked her about the president. So the president has bees. Brian is the head gardener, she said, for the walled garden in there, and he looks after the bees. Hang on. That's a good cup of tea. Yeah, I want to go see the president's bees and his house. Right, it's 4:30 now. I keep stopping to talk to people, and that's what's holding me up. So let's go pull plants. So I have an Ireland AM garden segment with Hygeia at Bloom on the Friday morning. And because it's Bloom, we need lots of display plants. So straight out to the orchard, who were kind enough to give us all of the display product for the TV. Now, unfortunately, it all has to go back. We don't get to keep any of this. But it was really good of them to help us and give us a dig out. I felt like I was on Supermarket Sweep, but plant edition. I was able to get all of my props for the table, all of the planters and stuff for the presenters to use. And there's beautiful pre-planted pots that you'll see. And Sarah in the orchard made these, and she also gave me the plant list as well. She is an angel. Good morning from the Friday of Bloom, and we are setting up for the telly segment. This morning was an early start. I was up at 5:30 because our TV live segment was 7:45. I needed to get down to the Phoenix Park for around 6:40 so that I could stage the tables and everything, because I hadn't seen the plants that I pulled since Wednesday evening. Normally when I have a telly segment, I have the plants in my car, and then I have 10 minutes to put them on the table. I do a tease, and then I have a bit more time to faff them before we go live. But today we had quite a quick turnaround. Also, it was on location. I've never done a telly segment where it's not been in studio. The great thing about this morning was I had helpers because my segment was with Nature Safe. I was able to say, hey, put that pot there and put that plant there. So it was great to have helpers. And then And then the production team came and they just had to test the lighting. So there's a lot of things that go into it when you're outside of the studio. Obviously there's different lighting conditions. There's things out of your control like noisy generators and stuff like that. So it was a really good experience. And having an early segment was great because once 8 o'clock came, I was able to go around and have a cup of tea, and I got more footage of Bloom on the Friday. As always, Ireland AM sometimes upload full shows onto YouTube, and the date was, the episode date was Friday the 31st of May. I don't know if they always upload it on the same day, but it was the episode from Friday the 31st, and I was on at 7:45. So if you do find that episode, it will be in the first hour of the show. One of my good friends met me around 9 a.m. and I managed to get some extra footage. It may be a bit random. This is our stroll around. We went to the food section, got a few samples. I actually got some footage of the walled garden in the Phoenix Park. Now this you can visit. It's at the visitor centre. I love it there. Sometimes I'll walk up, get a coffee, walk around the walled garden. So the walled garden can be visited anytime. It's free to walk around. For anyone who is not familiar with the Bloom Flower Festival, I do have some older vlogs over the past couple of years of it, but it's kind of a similar vibe to Hampton Court. It's a larger footprint compared to Chelsea, so it's much bigger. But I've been to Hampton Court once, and it kind of reminds me of that. So there's like a food section, and there does be cooking demos. Obviously, you have your show gardens. There is like lots of retailers as well. There's a big tent, a retail tent. You also have smaller gardens called postcard gardens for communities and charities. And yeah, there's a craft village. So yeah, it's much bigger than Chelsea. It's also cheaper. I was saying on Instagram that this year I noticed some of the show gardens were walk through. Now, not all of them, but I did notice some of them. There was a pathway and they were allowing people to walk through, which I thought was really nice because at a lot of flower shows, the show gardens, you kind of just look from the side, from a rope, and you're not allowed to actually walk through. So I really like seeing that this year.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my head? Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said. Tell me and be honest. Tell me, did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter's snow? Tell me and be honest. Tell me, should I've known that you'd be leaving me so painfully quiet and slow? I try my best to move on, to let go. They say time is a healer, just you wait and see. The problem is for me, I need an eternity. So tell me and be honest. Tell me, did you know that you would be leaving me just like the winter snow? Tell me and be honest. Tell me, should I known that you'd be leaving me so painfully quiet and slow? I try my best to move on, letting go.
Hello, I probably have cat hair all over me. Yes, I've just eaten a chicken roll and I have a cup of tea. I want to just give a little bit of an update. It's not a good one. So I'm just sharing this for my regular viewers who tune in every week because I know that if I miss an upload or if I'm not myself, you guys can catch on quite quickly. So I was saying in the Chelsea vlog that my mum had gone into hospital and I wasn't sure about going over that weekend, but I was only going for the night, so it wasn't like too bad. So sadly we actually as a family got bad news in the past week. All of my weeks are kind of blurred into one because I had a really busy work week this week with Bloom and having TV, and I had like some other non-YouTube dainty work, so the timing has been awful. So in between filming these clips, which is why my video is very one day we're at Bloom, the next we're doing bees, in between, like, I was in the hospital and then I went straight to buy bees. So obviously I didn't include those things in the vlog because yeah, they're, I don't know. YouTube is funny because I try to keep the YouTube videos and my content in general slightly topic based. So if you're watching my videos, you generally have an interest in kind of home craft, sewing, cats, garden, and a bit of DIY. So I try not to share too much personal stuff on the internet. But sadly we did get some bad news, and I have an uncertain, we as a family have an uncertain couple of weeks and months ahead. My mum has gotten out of hospital. She got out last night. She will be going back in to her consultants and for treatment, and we don't know what that looks like at the moment. And the past week has been very just totally uncertain, because one day you're speaking with doctors and then you're waiting on test results, and then you're trying to digest the information that you get. So we're kind of at that digesting of the information stage. I am purposely being vague because my mother is a very private person, and I am not going to give the world her medical record, because she will be like, please don't be telling people my business, because at the end of the day it is her business to share. My mom doesn't know, my mom is not an internet person. She is traditional media only, but she does ask. It's very funny. So obviously she knows I have books, and she has seen me on the television and heard me on the radio. She knows what YouTube is because of my niece and nephew, Jack and Lily, but she wouldn't sit and watch my YouTube videos, if that makes sense. She doesn't have a smartphone. She has a Nokia, and she doesn't text either. She's old school, and I kind of like it because she is so in the present moment, whereas all of us with phones and stuff, and obviously especially the internet has been quite heavy with everything going on as well. My mum just gets the news once a day from her newspaper, and that's it. But one thing she does say is she does ask, I think someone explained to her, you know, how followers work or something, but she's very funny, and she does say, how's your followers? As if she kind of knows yous, which is, it was so, I don't know, it's funny. She's like, and how's your followers today? And I'm like, I've never actually asked them, how are yous? My mum would like to know how yous are all doing, which is quite funny. But yeah, she is very private, and yeah, she won't be making Instagram vlogs on her journey. But yes, my next couple of videos, I don't know for however long, weeks, months, I may need to take a break. Thank you though, because I have had a busy month with obviously the book, so if you have supported me in that way, thank you. I've also have done a couple of brand collabs while I can. So if you have seen them pop up on Instagram and you've interacted or commented and liked, thank you. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm just telling you that if I have to miss some uploads for a while, yeah, it's because there's stuff happening behind the scenes, and I'm gonna like carry on obviously with YouTube because I'm self-employed, so no videos, no money. I won't be giving kind of weekly updates on my mum or anything like that, just because I don't know, the internet can be weird. I'm just sharing it, I suppose, for my regular viewers who check in weekly. If I seem a bit off, yeah, don't believe everything you see on the internet either, because this week it looks like I was living my probably hashtag best life at flower shows and pulling plants from the garden centre, and yeah, but behind the scenes was straight to the hospital for visits. And the other night my dinner was a garage sandwich and a packet of King and a hot chocolate. So yeah, behind the scenes we all have our own stuff going on. I'm sure there's people watching as well. And I know people often comment as well if they're going through stuff that they come to these videos for their own version of escapism. So I still want to keep these videos nice and upbeat, but I also don't want to be fake at the same time, because it's very hard to fake it and be like, woo, when you have like as someone who's seriously sick in your family. So on that note, I am going to get changed. I did have to pop over to Bloom again this morning. I've been there 3 days in a row now. Because I needed to check in. I was doing a fun video with Keelings, the Irish berry company, probably most famously known for the strawberries. They do have other berries, so I was working with them today, which was great. And now, because it's sunny outside, I want to go to the Beehive, which is off-site, and I'll explain a bit more because earlier in the video I was probably a bit vague and I was like, oh, look at the thing, but I'll bring my camera. I'll show you around the wild area that it's in. The bees are on a private piece of land as well, but they're just not in my back garden. And I'll explain a bit why when I go to the Beehive. And we'll have to come up with a little name for the Beehive house. The Beehive home, the Beehive site, apiary. I have an apiary now, even though I have one hive. So I need to get my bee equipment together and we can head up and do some beekeeping. Didn't buy any plants at Bloom because they didn't have, so the orchard, those plants will go back on the Monday, and they had 4 verbascums, clementine, all over Chelsea. Seen a couple in the show gardens at Bloom, but I was looking to see if I could buy some, and there was no verbascums at the nursery stands at the flower shows. They had a lot of lupins, a lot of foxgloves, no verbascum clementine. So I might just ask the orchard, can I have the verbascums? I'll buy them, like, because I can't find them anywhere. And we had 4 of them for the Ireland AM setup. But yeah, I was chatting with the lads today and I was like, no, make sure you water them plants, because the orchard in Selbridge is close to me. So, like, as in, it's not, like, it's one of the garden centres that's not too far from me that I like to go to. And I don't want to go in and then the staff are like, you killed all those plants. You killed €1,000 worth of plants. Because I'm not there to mind them this weekend. The lads on the nature safe stand are. Anyway, I am waffling. But yeah, I was like, please water them plants this weekend at the stand. Don't let them dry out because I'm the one who pulled them. So they'll blame me and I'll go in and they'll just be like, there's a one. She killed all the plants. They came back in bits. But hopefully they won't. Okay, so that's all my news. Long story short, to summarize, too long, didn't read. We didn't get good news. We have an uncertain period of time that I don't know what that period of time will be ahead of us. I may need to take time off in the future, but as of right now, I'm taking things day by day and I'm carrying on as normal can be. And yeah, and I love when people kind of check in and ask kind of how my mum is doing, but please don't be offended if I don't give any information. It's just because she's very private and doesn't want people knowing her business, and that is, I respect that, and I hope you do too. Right, bon, let's get our bee suit on and head out. Welcome to my apiary of one beehive. This is where I have my bees tucked away. One of the dangers for bees is actually, very sadly, vandalism. And it's something that never had crossed my mind until I was in the beekeeping group. Naturally, I suppose people are curious, and obviously there's risk of animals on certain fields and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I could pick a place for my bees that was tucked away. They weren't going to be a nuisance to other households or neighbours. And this is the perfect spot. In Ireland, you can absolutely have a beehive in your house, on an apartment, wherever you want. There is no actual law. There is, I suppose, a duty of care for the bees and your neighbours. When I visited the beekeepers' apiary, something that I noticed is when you open a hive, there's a lot of bees that just fly around. And while the bees are calm themselves, and once you put the lid back on, they calm down in about 20 minutes. I did notice that this may look intimidating if for one of my neighbours when they're looking over and they see a lot of bees. I did ask my neighbours and they were fine, but one of my neighbours has young kids, another one has a grandkid, and I decided to have my bees off site because if they were to swarm, which is very common, at least in the area that they're in, they're not going to panic people as quickly as if they were in my garden. Now, I may, if I were to, I don't know, catch a swarm, or if I split a hive, I could have a small beehive in my garden, which is called a nuke. And then you have to like move it on and put it into a big hive. But I thought, while I'm a beginner, let's put them somewhere where I am not going to be overlooked and neither are the bees. And if I do make any mistakes, yeah, I'm not having people look at me going around in my bee suit. What you're watching me do right now is I'm transferring the bees from the nuke into their main hive. The nuke has 6 frames and my hive, it's a commercial box and there is 12 frames in it. I'm going to position the 6 frames in the exact same order and direction as the nuke in the centre of the brood box. Bees are very orderly and they have a particular way of doing things, so if I was to put these frames in a different direction and in a different order, it would upset them and confuse them, and that's the last thing I want to do. So I don't know if you can see, but the bees that are currently at the door are doing a kind of dance, or not a dance, but they're fanning in a way to tell the other bees that are remaining in the box, the forager bees. You'll see they have like little pollen sacs on the back of their legs, so they're telling them, hey, the queen is now in this box, and hopefully in the next half an hour, 20 minutes, the last of the bees will have made their way into the hive, and then the old nook box will, so the bees that are coming in now are probably the ones that have been out foraging as well. You'll see some of the legs, you'll see the pollen on the back. So hopefully by this evening all will be calm once again. Worker bees will have returned, and I am going to put in a feeder into the top so that they have just a bit of food, because they've had a bit of a busy week. They've gotten a new site, a bigger hive, so it's been a busy, exciting week for them. Now popping on a super box so that I can put in a plastic rapid bee feeder, and I'm giving them syrup. What I've learned from my beekeeping class is in autumn you feed them a thicker, it's like a fondant, and then in summer they get a syrup. And I'm feeding these because they are going from a nuke, a smaller hive, into a larger one. So hopefully the queen is going to be laying loads of eggs, and they will need some food resources to feed all the new baby bees so that they can get out and forage. If you have an established hive, you probably wouldn't be feeding, although the weather hasn't been great, it has been raining, so you possibly could be feeding, but I am not at the stage where I have a large hive yet. I also dotted around a couple of shallow water dishes. These are actually bird feeders, but I like them because they're really shallow. Even though they're shallow, I'm still going to pop in a couple of pebbles because bees can very easily drown and get too wet. Bees will also get water from leaves. Obviously we've had lots of rain and stuff, so they will find water from other places, but I just wanted to dot a few around the hive. Just, I don't know, if my girls need a little drink. On a hot day, they will need water to regulate the temperature of the hive, so it's nice to have a few dotted around. Okay, so things have calmed down, and the last of the bees, there was a couple in here, but as you can see, the last of these guys are heading in. So the people on doing the door are telling them, hey, come on in this way. So there was loads and they're all going in, and I can see that there's no queen, because my fear is the queen is left in the box, but she's marked red, and no, I can't see her here. So hopefully, fingers crossed, she is in the hive. So I'm not going to check the inside of the hive for a week, but I will make sure that they are taking the feed. And I just want to double check that I've put the feeder on correctly. I am doubting myself. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass. I could really use some stuff like that. So there is some lovely evening sunshine, and I apologise because I can't see my viewfinder, but this is my nook where I have bees. And the great thing about this nook is there's a really high hedge. I could probably do with a trim. There's also these high trees, so they're protected from wind. Obviously they'll still get wind, but they have there's screening to kind of protect them. This is also southeast facing, so it gets morning sunlight, and it's only after losing the sun there at 6 o'clock, so it has a good sunny spot. I reckon if I trimmed that hedge there, I would get a bit more. It is quite, as you can see, messy, which is, I suppose, perfect for nature and bees. There's lots of nettles and stuff for butterflies, but I think I will try and tidy up some, sorry about the shaky camera, I think I might try and tidy up some of this area. The great thing about this area is there is space to have more beehives, so if I do split a hive next year, we will just see how we go. But there's definitely room to have some more hives, and there is some chopped up trees over there, great for little bugs living there, but that is an option to tidy that up and get some more in here. I can also, there's loads of kind of areas where there's potential. I'm after robbing this little chair to sit on under this tree as well. So yeah, this is a small nook, lots of nice wildflowers as well. Yeah, so this is the bee apiary for now. The evening sunshine is lovely, but it's in my eyes. So the next thing, all I have to do this week is keep on top of the feeder that I've put inside. I was doubting myself. I double checked the feeder is in the correct position. One of the biggest things when it comes to beekeeping with beginners and failure rates is beginners open the hive too much. So I am not going to touch them for a week, and I'm going to come back in a week's time and I'm going to check. Well, I'll come back to take that nuke away and make sure all of the bees have gone in. They should be gone in the next hour. I have to give that back. I will make sure that they're feeding. I have to feed them until 80% of the frames are full, and then you can stop feeding them because there's a danger with overfeeding them. But when you move a nook into the hive, they do recommend to feed. So you can do a 1-to-1. Actually, I don't know if it's 1-to-1. Don't listen to me. I bought a big jug of bee syrup from the bee supply store, but you can make your own with sugar and water. The guy was telling me how to do it, but I was like, I will just buy them some nice feed just in case. And I feel a bit bad because I had to shake some of the bees out of the box to get them in. And I'm like, I hope the queen is in there. But the guy did say if Attenham's the queen, he'll sell me a new queen. But I don't want that. I really don't want it to come to that. But hopefully the queen is in there. Let's good vibes that the queen is in the hive. Good vibes. Send the good vibes to Her Majesty, the queen in the hive, that she is in there and she is happy. So in 1 week's time when I come back, I will be checking the frames to make sure there's eggs and larvae, all that stuff. Stores of honey as well. And if I don't see eggs in a week and I don't see the queen, then I hope nothing has happened to her. Yeah. Beekeeping is a bit more stressful than I thought. But the good thing is, I'm like, okay, people are really helpful, especially in my beekeeping group as well. If something happens in a week's time, I know that the bees will make queen cells as well. They'll make a new queen, but I'll get on to, the people in the group if I need to. But this is a lovely little nook in the evening. I'm definitely going to do some trimming and tidying in this little nook because there's a bit of potential here. Little raised bed or something. Yeah. A few little foxgloves dotted around. This could be a nice little nature nook. A nature nook. Actually, let's come up with a name for our new beekeeping nook. Should we call it the nature nook? Do you know when people say, oh, let's come to my allotment? No, this won't be an allotment. What would we call it? The nature nook. Yeah. Let me know after showing you around how big would this be? Like 12 by... Well, I suppose if everything was trimmed back, there would be more space. But let me know what you think I should do with this little nook, aside from putting bees in it. Yeah, actually the last of the bees are going in, which gives me relief. And the bees are acting really calm now, which makes me think the queen is in the hive. Order seems to have been restored. Fingers crossed. Anyway, enough waffling. I'm going to end it there. Hopefully next week's video is a bit more organised and in order. Like, hopefully my life is too. Yeah, I'll keep you posted as well. See you on Instagram during the week. If you're new, welcome. Do you know that bird? There's a little blackbird here too. Yes, I'll see you in next week's video.
You're the